What's up, everyone? Welcome to episode 8 of Courtside with Shivam and Mailee. I'm your host, Shivam Patel, coming to you live from San Antonio, Texas. And Mailee Jones, my co-host, also coming to you live from San Antonio, Texas, the host of the Final Four on the women's side. It is the best time of the year, Mailee. March Madness has begun. Already has some upsets, some crazy basketball. Yes. Welcome, everyone. And Mailee, how's it going?
It is going really good. Just happy to be here. March Madness is here. Definitely a lot of upsets, like you said, which I'm really excited to talk about. And you guys, listen, yesterday I had to ask Shivam if he was okay, I know he's having a rough couple of hours, especially since yesterday and today. And I said, look, it's going to be okay. I just can't wait for our show to happen.
Oh, man, I cannot wait. There's been some high-level basketball. And before we get started, yesterday, ladies and gentlemen, was Mailee's birthday. Happy belated birthday to Mailee. I hope Mailee enjoyed her day yesterday. And how was your day, Mailee?
It was really good. A lot of love. Thank you guys out there who wished me happy birthday. I just spent my time at the gym, just watched my dad train. I postponed all my training, and I was just being a gym rat, like, the typical Mailee. I have a lot of birthday cakes, so you guys ever want to come over to the house and share birthday cake? I have about 7, so all big birthday cakes. So it was really fun. Thank you everyone for the gifts and the cakes. Really had a good time, but I cannot wait to get started.
Oh, me too. And I'm glad, you had a great day, Mailee. No other place you'd rather be than the gym, on your birthday. So what a great, the grind never stops. That's amazing. So again, happy belated birthday to Mailee, and let her enjoy her cake. I'm sure she's going to eat some cake after the show. Who knows? But so ladies and gentlemen, we have such a jam-packed show today. We have a variety of topics we're going to talk about. Overtime Elite started their professional basketball league for high school students. So we're going to be talking about that in a few minutes. And then unfortunately, the disparities between men's and women's college basketball were highlighted this week. So me and Mailee are going to explain more about that. But then also the games, Mailee. We're going to dive in deep into the games on the men's and women's side. So are you ready, Mailee?
Oh, I am. I hope you're ready, Shivam.
Oh, I'm ready. I'm ready. Let's do this. So first, let's talk about the Overtime Basketball Professional League, which is called Overtime Elite. It's going to launch in September 2021, and it's going to feature high school students 16 to 18 years old. And they're going to get a nice salary of $100,000, and they're going to get a chance to be able to learn, from professionals and get to play, the opportunity to make money, Mailee. And it's different than the G League Select Team, because the G League Select Team is specifically for college students that graduated high school. But this is specifically for high school students, Mailee. And you being a successful high school basketball player and a college player also, what were your immediate thoughts after hearing this news, Mailee?
I'm really excited about this. Of course, I'm not going to show too much of my feminist side, feminism ideas too much. But I'm really excited about this opportunity because, hopefully we can eventually get to the women's side of this as well. But it really makes getting to the league more competitive. And I think for those who just think, they just woke up one day and say, hey, I'm going to make it to the league, even though I only work out, 3 times a week. It just got a little harder. And of course, the G League Ignite team doesn't make things easier. But I'm really excited about this opportunity. And I think to really open up the market for those players who are really serious about their game, this is just a perfect opportunity. And when I found out the news, I was like, wow, this is going to be And it just got a little bit harder. 16 to 18 years old. You're getting paid $100,000. Gosh, I wish NBA salary was something near that, especially as a entry level player. But it is what it is. I'm not going to get too much into that. But really excited about this opportunity for those who are thinking about really taking their game to the next level. I think this is a great opportunity for you.
It really is, and it's going to feature 30 top prospects, in high school. So it's going to make it that much harder for the NCAA to be able to compete with this, because now they're competing with the G League select team and they're competing with this high school team. So they're not going to. We'll see. I'm very interested to see whether the stars are like Cade Cunningham, for example, are going to want to go play college, because as Jalen Green and Kuminga decided not to. So I'm very excited about this opportunity. You get paid. You don't have to worry about schooling. You're around basketball 24/7. Of course, they're going to pay for your education later. So if you decided after your playing career you want to get your education, of course that's going to be paid for. But you get an opportunity to be around basketball, watch film, learn great habits, eating, sleeping, how to train, how to be professional, the business side of basketball, Mailee, because a lot of players
too. Don't leave that out.
Because a lot of players make a lot of money, but they spend a lot of money. You hear about these NBA players that basically after they're done, they go broke and they're living paycheck to paycheck. So they're learning how to, better manage their money and how to better spend their money. And you can improve your game, Mailee. That's the ultimate prize before you get to the NBA.
Yeah. And I think, for sure that, it just made it a little bit harder to get to the league. The NBA, but it does open things up for players whose chances weren't looking that great for college basketball, because now you have players that, and especially Shivam, our generation, and generations down, I think what America has provided and kind of the trend that's happening is you rather start your career right out of high school and just go it. Education is always going to be there. Online school is the wave right now, but that's just how it's moving. But it is what it is, and I think I'm an example of that. I did leave school early to pursue my career and, of course, my other business ventures. But if this is something you're interested in, it's definitely worth doing. But education is important. But I think it just opened up the window for those players whose chances weren't looking that great for college basketball.
It really does, and education is a important facet. But let's be real. A lot of these players just go to college. They don't go for the education. They just go for the league.
What did you tell me the other day? You said some kid was, he's thinking about one and done, going to the league, and he was taking some dance class or something.
CPR class. I'm not going to mention any names. Mailee knows who I'm talking about, but we're not going to put his name out there out there. But yeah,
class's name all we want. It really doesn't matter to me. I just said, you know what? If you're going to do that, you might as well just go ahead and pursue your career. You might as well. I mean, you can do an online class on YouTube how to do CPR. I mean, geez.
But we'll see. It launches in September 2021. It's going to be right there with the G League select team. So NCAA, you got some competition. And let's see what's going to happen, Mailee.
Yes, they definitely have some competition, especially after this fiasco that just happened. First, women's versus men's equality. I mean, don't even get me started.
All right, Mailee. No, but that's a perfect segue, Mailee, because let's talk about that. So a couple pictures aired, on Twitter and on social media this past week of, the disparities that really highlighted the disparities between men's and women's college basketball. And Sedona Prince, who currently plays for Oregon, of course, they're all in San Antonio, all in the bubble. She did a TikTok video, and then she also did a video on Twitter in the weight room, kind of highlighting hey, this is the weight room that we have. it's nothing. It was just a bunch of racks with some dumbbells on it. Compared to the men's room, they got this whole space.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, Sheila.
Also the food, Mailee, and the swag bag, the gear that they get. So what were your thoughts? What did you think when you saw this, Mailee?
Really? It's this is normal. I hate that it's normal, and I hate I have to say it's normal, but this is normal, and I think for those who know Viola Davis, really incredible African-American actress, she said it the best. She said, don't hire females, for diversity clout. Hire us because we can do the job and you believe in us. And I think it's the same thing with this. You know, it's so sad that it's normal, but NCAA day after day, years after years have said, you know, it's all about equality, gender equality.
Title IX, that's what Title IX is.
Right, and it's clearly not. And
as you can see, Mailee, sorry to interrupt, but as you see on the top is the men's weight room, and then the bottom is the women's. And Sky Minaj just say you have one dumbbell rack with yoga mats. So that basically what the picture is. But go ahead, Mailee.
I mean, geez, you know.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, but you know, it's normal, and it's so sad that, you know, they try to highlight these women as, oh, look what we're doing, or look what the NCAA is doing. And, you know, thank God for overtime basketball coming through with this. I think they need to come through with a women's side so women have this opportunity as well. But, you know, it's normal. You know, they just say this is what it is, and this is the equality that we provide. And then you have that. You have plastic meat, and you have those probably disgusting vegetables. I mean, if anybody knows me, I don't eat vegetables, period. They already looked bad, but I mean, imagine if you like vegetables and have to eat. I bet it's really disgusting. And then when you look at the men's, they have this gourmet, probably by the #1 chef in the world, you know, and that's just what it is. And it was so disgusting to look at, not because I hate that type of food, but it's just the inequality that you see. You know, it's like, this is what people support. You know, I think for the, you know, executives of NCAA to just come out with an apology, and Sedona, I mean, you know, credit to her, she took it really professionally, but I would have been like, I don't accept your apology, because that's just words, you know, that's just empty, you know.
And there's a flag bag, and it's just
yeah, you definitely have to come out with, you know, take action. You know, we've been hearing words for so many years, but take action. You know, you want to complain, or say this, say that. And she said, I think her name is Lynn. I don't even have the energy to say her last name, because this is just unacceptable. But she said that she was a basketball student athlete. And I said, okay, yeah, maybe in the 1940s, but this is now. And this is being now, it has to have a change. And I mean, I remember Horizon League, that's my freshman year, that's what I played in. We definitely got more stuff than that. So we got a lot of stuff, and this is just not okay. And Horizon League is, you know, mid-major, you know. And so I still can't even believe this, you know?
Yeah, exactly. It's crazy, Mailee. And like Mailee said, the NCAA, some representative did say an apology. And then it was just funny that immediately, like afterwards, not even 24 hours in, there was these pictures circulating of how the NCAA improved the weight room. They finally got the men's, you know, size weight room. And, you know, everybody was all happy about that. But it was only after the backlash that they received.
Right. It's be there, you know,
and they were just trying to say that it wasn't due to space, but you know, they have this big ballroom. It's not acceptable. But also, you know, the Oregon coach and then Coach Auriemma from UConn also came out and said, like, hey, we've been dealing with this for years now. This is nothing new. This is the facilities and stuff that we've had to deal with, and the inequality that we've had to deal with. So it's been really tough. And Sky is also saying it's not just the lower leagues, but also the NBA and WNBA differences. You're exactly right, you know, Sky. Just they don't have the access to the resources, you know, the money. And it's just really, we have a long way to go, Mailee, in order to, you know, the NBA needs to be held accountable and needs to be better.
It definitely does. And, you know, Shivam, I don't know if you know, but Sedona Prince actually is a former UT player. I think she is from Austin.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, you know, being from Texas, you kind of
I didn't know that. So cool.
Yeah, you kind of know where players go, and she decided to transfer after her season, I think her freshman year at UT. It is sad she did endure an injury while at UT, but you know, there's things that go on behind the scenes. So for her to transfer and really, you know, call out NCAA for this, I mean, that is really great. And I was on the SAC program for NCAA to help student athletes of any sport, and I even said, you know, I was being elected vice president my sophomore year. And I said, look, this is not okay. I decided to leave college early. Glad I did, because this is just not okay. And with hopes it gets better, but there definitely needs to be actions by us female athletes. You know, we can't just rely on the higher ups to do it. You know, if we want something to get done and we complain about it, we do need to take action.
Yep, exactly right. And props to Sedona Prince for putting it on social media. She did have a nice little after the improved weight room. She did say thank you very much, NCAA. I like how she kept it professional. Even though you could tell she was annoyed, but she tried to keep it professional. And she even tweeted, "Hey, look at the power of social media. After all these pictures circulated, now their conditions are a lot better." So let's see. And I hope the women in the NCAA going to continue to improve. Get to showcase their skills on the national level, because it's been great. The women's tournament has just been as great as the men's tournament. And I'm enjoying watching both of them, Mailee. But we got to move on. So let's talk about the games now, Mailee. So let's start with on the women's side first. I know Miley's waiting to talk about one particular team, but
I can't wait. But go ahead. I can't wait though, but go ahead.
Okay. So let's talk about the number one team in the country, Mailee, the Baylor Bears. Well, first of all, yes, the Final Four is in San Antonio, and the whole tournament is being held in San Antonio and surrounding areas, of course. They're all housed in, all different hotels around the city, and they play in different arenas in San Antonio, even in San Marcos, at Texas State, and in Austin at the Frank Irwin Center, Mailee. But let's talk about the number one team in the country, the Baylor Bears, who took care of business today, Mailee. And man, what a game by Baylor. Nalisa Smith played really well. Queen Agbo, they're really deep. Gerson even was making a lot of shots, Mailee. What an impressive performance today by the Lady Bears.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And Shivam, I don't know if you know, but Alyssa Smith, she's actually from San Antonio.
Oh, represent.
I think it's East Central High School. I'm pretty sure that's the name. It's been so long since I've been in high school. But yeah, she is from San Antonio. I think her game in college has really developed, been really well, really tall, really athletic player. And, Baylor's definitely lucky to have her.
They're really lucky to have her. She's a really good player. And they have both, Mailee, because in the past, they used to just have these tall, girls on the inside that used to just get a lot of rebounds and block a lot of shots. But now they have the guard play, Mailee. So they play inside out, and that makes them really hard to defend, because then if you throw it in the post, the defense has to collapse and it leaves the shooters wide open. Or if you want to focus on the guards, they can just break you down off the dribble, collapse the defense, pass it to the open shooters. It's like pick your poison. They can score in a variety of ways, Mailee. They can get to the free throw line. They also play defense, ladies and gentlemen. They're very active. They get a lot of deflections, a lot of steals. And I think this Baylor team is primed for a deep run, Mailee.
Oh, for sure. I could definitely see them going all the way and coming home with the championship. But experience yesterday, there's definitely some upsets that can happen. All I can say is when you're playing in a tournament, I know I've only had my experience with conference tournament, but you cannot take any team for granted, no matter what their record is, the type of talent they have. When it's March Madness, people are just stepping up to the plate to bring it.
Exactly. You have to put your A game on, because there's already been not as many upsets so far on the women's side as there is the men's, but I expect that to change. Today, the top seed, specifically on the women's side, have taken care of business, but it's March Madness, Mailee. Anything can happen. The ball can bounce the wrong way. You can have a twisted ankle. I don't know. Weird stuff happens in March. So we'll see, Mailee. Well, let's talk about another number one seed, NC State Wolfpack, Mailee, who also had a nice win today, and they're looking really good. Crutchfield had a nice game. Also, Boyd, they have really talented guards. They like to shoot a lot of threes, Mailee, but they also like to, can score in the mid-range, get to the basket. NC State is not as great of a defensive team as Baylor, but they're more offensively focused, Mailee. And my question is to you, you being a college basketball player on the D1 level, can you just win with the offensively focused team, Mailee, or do you need to play a little bit of defense? Because NC State, I didn't see much defense from them today. They're an offensively focused team, Mailee, and they just try to outscore you.
Well, it's happened before, but like the saying goes, offense wins games, defense wins championships. So essentially that offensive game, that's going to get them pretty far in the tournament. But if they don't find a way to find that balance of playing both or just playing defense, they will struggle a little bit. And being a former Division I player, you definitely have to play defense. That has to be your biggest thing, especially in March. I think before that you can get away with it, but for the most part in March, you have to play defense. If you don't, I don't know what's going to happen to you. Well, I actually do. You're going to lose the game,
You have experience, yeah.
I would say NC State being a 3-point shooting team, that's really good. But if there's some days that you're not bringing it from behind the arc,
exactly.
something else. If you just rely on that 3, it's only going to take you so far. You have to bring other threats to the game of basketball. If you just bring one thing, you're just a shooter, you're not going to get far. If you're just somebody who likes to go to the basket, you're not going to get far. You're just somebody who likes to shoot mid-range, you're not going to get far. You have other threats to the game of basketball.
Right. And another reason I don't think that NC State's going to, even though they're a 1 seed, I don't think they can beat the UConns, the Stanfords, the Baylors, because Mailee, they don't really have much of a bench. They really focus on their starting 5, and they play heavy minutes. They play almost more than 3/4 of the game. So as the game goes on, your legs start getting tired. You play more games. You're not going to have that focus, that you need to score, enough points. So I think NC State, well, they've had a great, offensive run this year. They've broken a lot of records. They've been very potent on the offensive end. I don't know if that can carry Mailee, because they're like the Iowa on the women's side. Great offensive team, but defense is lacking. And if you don't have the depth, Mailee, they can't really throw a lot of bodies out there, and they don't really have the size. They have smaller guards, Mailee, that if you go against bigger guards, I think it's going to be a little bit of a problem. But we'll see, Mailee. NC State, they definitely had a good season. We're not taking anything away from them. They're number 1 seed for a reason, Mailee. But those are some of the concerns that I have about NC State.
Yeah, and I mean, you're totally right. When you really don't go to your bench for the game,
they just don't have a bench, though. It's not like they don't, it just
right. And that can hurt you. Only thing I would say is, if the coach is aware of that, she really has to make sure her 6-man rotation or a 5-man rotation, 7-man rotation, they have to be in shape. They just can't play. They just can't go through the motions in practice or have a light practice. They actually need to be in shape. And I think Coach DJ and I, we've definitely proven that, not really resulting to your bench and your 5, your starting 5 playing heavy minutes. If you're in shape, you're going to last, because it's not like, you're playing game after game after game. With the national team, you've got 3-on-3, and people who played FIBA 3-on-3 before. You have to be in shape. If you play that game and you're not in shape, you're not going to last too long. But, if you're in shape, you can last game after game. You're having 10 minutes in between each game just to rest, and you're playing a 15, 20-minute game each time. And so if they're in shape, they're gonna be all right. If they're not in shape and they get a little winded, they start catching cramps their second game, they should be worried.
Yeah, and another thing I worry about, for them is foul trouble, Mailee, because they call the game a little bit more tighter on, in March Madness from what I've seen, So if they get into foul trouble, you're not going to have a lot of bodies that you can throw out there, and also their size, Mailee. They can easily get, pounded on the offensive and defensive glass. They're going to get a lot of second chance opportunities for the opponent, which is not good, because the more chances you give an opponent, the more likely they are to score. So if they can't clean up the rebounds, Mailee, I don't know how good they're going to be, but hopefully they're in shape. They look like they're in shape, Mailee. They like to play a lot of up and down, fast-paced game, because they like to beat the defense down the floor and get a lot of easy transition buckets, but that can make you tired. So we'll see, Mailee.
We will see. Hopefully they're in shape. Cross your fingers.
Cross your fingers. But I don't think the NC State Wolfpack are going to make the Final Four. Just quickly, I'm going to give my Final Four just real quick. UConn, Baylor, Stanford, and South Carolina. Those are my 4.
That's pretty good.
What about you, Mailee? I know we did it earlier in the season, but now with March Madness, I'm going to ask you, what is your Final Four on the women's side?
I think for me, it's too soon to tell, because, for me, I'm all about – hold on, Shivam. I'm all about the underdogs. If there's some team out there who really wants it, I mean, it's just fighting for it, I'm definitely looking forward to an upset. How women's basketball, how I've seen it trend throughout the years, upsets don't usually happen until later. But I really want an upset to happen, and I really hope the underdog comes out on top. So we will see. But I think the Final Four you had is really good. It's really good. Really what everybody's kind of predicting, but anything can happen.
Anything can happen. And we're not going to be talking about them on our show because they play tomorrow, but watch out for the Texas A&M Aggies, Mailee. They're number 2 seed. I know it hurts me to say it's a Texas fan, but they're dangerous, Mailee. They're very dangerous.
Support Kyra.
Yes, yes. Yes. So Kyra is going to be playing. Kyra and UT are going to be playing tomorrow night against Bradley. So Texas is the 6th seed. They're going to be playing against the number 11 seed, Bradley. So let's hope that Kyra wins. Hook 'em, Kyra. And if you, again, Kyra is on the UT women's basketball team. If you want to catch her episode with her, she was on her show a couple weeks ago. Be sure to go check it out on the Patel Pick and Roll Sports YouTube channel. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. But Mailee, let's talk about our last game on the women's side. So let's talk about the number 4 seed, the Kentucky Wildcats, who I think is another sleeper, Mailee. They got the Player of the Year, Rain Howard, and or at least I think she's the Player of the Year, Mailee. But they had a nice win today against Idaho State, and they did a great collective effort on the offensive end of the floor. They made a ton of threes, forced a lot of turnovers from Idaho State, and out-rebounded Idaho State, Mailee. So overall, an impressive performance by the Kentucky Wildcats.
Yeah, Rain Howard is really dominant, really tall point guard. It's definitely somebody you want to have on your team. I'm really hoping for an upset. Maybe Kentucky can be in the Final Four.
Yeah.
Maybe, yes, maybe. But I definitely see her as a potential Player of the Year. But I don't know. Paige Beckers is a pretty talented point guard, especially as a freshman. All about, players, male players breaking barriers, doing the untraditional things, unorthodox things. So we'll see what happens. But Kentucky can definitely sneak up on somebody.
Right. And Mailee, for those in the audience that haven't seen our past episodes, what do you like specifically about Rain Howard's game, and why has she been successful in her junior season?
Oh, I think for one, she's a point guard that can score. That's definitely, and if you're a point guard, I definitely have a lot of respect for you. I'm a point guard, and being a point guard that's able to score, you're a really, really big threat on the court. If you can, a point guard that can play multiple positions, but point guard is really your strongest, but you know how to play other ones. That's what's really good. And that's what Rain Howard is. She can score the basketball, she can pass, she can run the team. And running the team, let me tell you guys, is really hard.
Oh, I bet.
Some players, some point guards actually disguise that difficulty, and I think she really brings that out. I think Paige Beckers, I don't like using the rookie word. I really don't like that. I don't like the rookie versus vet. I like, whoever can bring it. Whether you're really little, really tall, really young, really old, it's whoever can bring it on the court at the end of the day. And I think what makes Rain Howard so efficient when she's on the court is her ability to do other things.
Yep. And Kentucky's definitely my sleeper, for the Final Four, as well as A&M. Like Mailee said, they could pull off an upset, So Big Blue. I'm wearing a blue shirt, but I think Kentucky has a chance, to pull off an upset, Mailee. We'll see, I think they have a very favorable bracket, and they have the best player in the country, or one of the best players in the country, Rain Howard, who could do it all. And I love the way that she not only scores, as Mailee said, but she also finds her teammates. She's attacking the basket to not only find her teammates, but to score. She has an all-around game, from the mid-range, from 3, going to the basket. She's a great free throw shooter. Kentucky this year is very experienced, Mailee. They have a lot of juniors and seniors on their team, which that's the key. And they have a lot of leaders and veteran leadership on that team. So I think Kentucky's hungry because, they've underachieved the last couple of years, with some early tournament exits. So I think this is the year that they feel like they have a great team to be able to advance far in the tournament.
Yeah, and Shivam, I don't know if you saw Sky Mirage, who is actually Lupita, good friends of mine. She's giving you a compliment about your shoes.
Oh, thank you, Sky. Yeah, she said Shivam. I see you with the heat behind you. Thank you, Sky, for that compliment, and thank you so much for watching the show.
Lupita, you definitely know I have better shoe game than Shivam. Come on. You've seen them. You've seen them at the gym. Okay, come on now.
Man. Hey, we actually compared our shoes in a couple of episodes ago. So me and Mailee did a little comparison. So be sure to check that out, Sky. But thank you so much for watching, and everybody, thank you so much again for tuning into the show. And remember to like, share, and subscribe to the Patel Pick and Roll Sports YouTube channel where you can watch every episode of Courtside with Shivam and Mailee. And also, you can watch it on Mailee Jones' Facebook channel and Shooting for Success Facebook channel. And before we move on to the men's, Mailee, I know we have a giveaway that we're going to do that we're going to announce later on in the show. Mailee's going to be giving you the details for that. And Sky is saying, for sure, Mailee's shoe game is strong. So, Sky, oh, man.
Well, Shiva, the episode we did with our shoes, I didn't bring all of them out because I didn't want to embarrass you too much. I'm just kidding. Well, not really. But I definitely have some shoe game. But we just did basketball shoes. You know, I kind of venture out a little bit, even to the heels.
Yeah.
I think I've already have you beat on the heels because I know you're not wearing those. But anyway, thank you, Lapita or Sky Mirage. I know that's your Facebook name, but thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And remember, everybody, if you want to continue to put your comments in the chat section below, we'll feature them live on the show. Put your thoughts on, has March Madness lived up to the expectations so far? Which team are you guys think is going to win the championship? Which team do you think is going to pull off the upset? Me and Mailee definitely want to hear from y'all. So remember to connect with us on the live chat. But Mailee, let's move on to the men's section. Oh my God, it's been crazy, Mailee. So the men's tournament started Friday, and there was 5 upsets Friday of all lower seeded teams. 2 on Saturday yesterday. Yes, my Texas Longhorns ended up getting upset. And then 2 today, Mailee. So it's been just unbelievable. It's been what a wild ride March Madness has been on the men's side. So let's talk about the first upset. Number 8 Loyola Chicago today beat number 1 seed Illinois. And this was not a surprise to me, ladies and gentlemen. Going into this game, I thought Loyola had a chance to pull off this upset because if y'all remember in 2018 when the Final Four was in San Antonio, Loyola Chicago was one of the Final Four teams. So they've pulled off upsets before and made a deep run, Mailee. But man, what a game. And they had control over this entire game, Mailee. They had basically a 10-point lead the entire game. Illinois cut it to 6 a couple of times, but they kept an arm's distance from them.
Yeah. All I can say, I went to Chicago State, and Chicago State is far from Loyola Chicago, but I'm definitely supporting any team from Chicago. So for this to happen, and for the men's side, they have to know that if Loyola has done this once, they could definitely do it again. Mm-hmm. If you don't bring it, you're gonna lose and you're gonna be disappointed. So that's really sad, but go Loyola. I hope you make it all the way this time.
Yeah, they have a solid team, and their senior class, who when they were freshmen in 2017, they made it to the Final Four. They're the winningest senior class in Loyola Chicago history. Mailee, they have 99 wins over 4 years so far, so they have a chance to get to 100 the next game. Lucas Williamson, Cameron Krutwig, those guys have just been unbelievable. Peter Mosier. Sorry. I mispronounced his name, but he's the coach of Loyola Chicago. He's one of the most underrated coaches in the NCAA, Mailee. And to do it, man, they've had such an impressive run. And okay, let me just talk about their game. So they have a great offensive game. They play a lot of 5 out. But then when they have their center in, they throw it into their center. Yeah, the Sky is saying, oh, Illinois. Yeah, it was an SMH moment for Illinois, shaking my head. Because they had one of their best seasons ever, Mailee. They came out of nowhere. Unfortunately, they fell short. But back to Loyola, they have their center, Krutwig, who they throw him the ball, and he's big. He's like 6'9", 260. So you have to throw the double team, and then he has shooters all around them. So they just have open shots, and they were just feasting on Illinois. Their ball movement was incredible. Their player movement, their cutting, Mailee. They got a lot of easy baskets. And on the defensive end of the floor, I love their strategy. Illinois has a big player in their center, Kofi Cockburn, who is 7 feet 270. He's a big guy. Yeah, and they did a great job they were doubling him the entire time. And he's their main player. So when he plays well, Illinois plays well. But he had a rough game out there. They did a great job of taking the ball out of his hands. They put him in a lot of pick and rolls on defense because he's really slow-footed, as you would expect from a 7-footer. But on defense, Illinois was doing a great job hedging on the pick and rolls, Mailee, and really, forcing Illinois' offense to start near half court and further than they wanted to, and completely took them out of their offensive rhythm.
Oh, for sure. And especially when you do that and you have the shot clock on your side.
Yeah.
That is something you want to do. And you can tell how coaches are, how the team will be when they really use the shot clock to their advantage defensively. They're definitely going to go far in basketball as a team because, there's for one, focus on, on the ball defense, help side, don't help ball side, and all these other aspects that go into playing defense. But when you have all those aspects and you add in the shot clock, you definitely go far. And that's something that he definitely did to run your offensive play from half court that far.
They took Illinois out of everything they wanted to do, Mailee. They were completely discombobulated. Illinois has some talented players, ladies. Their center, Kofi Cockburn, like I said, their point guard, Ayu DeSomo, who's just he's cat quick. He couldn't get anything. Their shooters, they struggled. So, and Illinois just seemed out of sync. And really, Loyola Chicago punched them in the mouth first. They took the early lead, and they're like, we're setting the tone for this game. They brought a different kind of physicality to the game that Illinois did not match, Mailee. They were the aggressor in this game, and it really showed, and they were imposing their will on both ends of the floor, and their offense was just beautiful to watch. Just ball movement. It's just the right way basketball is supposed to be played. And on defense, unbelievable. They have all these shooters also that they surround on their team with. Lucas Williamson, who's an underrated senior on Loyola. He can do everything, Mailee. They have a couple of shooters that are unbelievable that had a lot of wide open shots. And so let's see if Loyola can make another deep tournament run this year. The next opponent, so they might be playing Cade Cunningham in Oklahoma State if they win tonight, the number 4 seed Oklahoma State. So now I would love to see if they could replicate that performance against Cade Cunningham, who's supposed to be the number 1 pick in the draft. If Oklahoma State wins, Mailee.
Right. But everybody knows how I feel about Cade Cunningham going.
Best player in the country.
He should. Definitely a top 5 pick, but I don't think it's number 1. But that's just me.
We'll see, Mailee. But okay, let's move on to another upset that happened in college basketball on the men's side. Number 2, Ohio State lost to number 15, Oral Roberts. Mailee, this was a 9th time in NCAA history that a number 2 seed has lost to a number 15 seed. And Ohio State also had a great season in the Big Ten, but Oral Roberts, Mailee, just came ready to play, and they played really well and pulled off the upset.
Yes. First of all, I would like to give a shout out to Coach Maverick. He is the assistant coach for the Oral Roberts University men's basketball team. And congratulations, Coach Maverick.
Congratulations.
High school. My dad has definitely trained him in basketball. Definitely lights out shooter. But to really give your expertise to the guys for the Oral Roberts University men's basketball team is just huge. And look, it's definitely paid off. And if you guys don't know, ORU has definitely done this before. So like Loyola Chicago, this is nothing new. This is definitely nothing new. But if you could do it once, you can definitely do it again. So definitely don't sleep on this team. But shout out to Coach Maverick. Really excited for you. Definitely hope you go far. But another upset, Shivam. I just can't wait to get to the UT upset. But I'm going to be so patient.
We're almost there, Mailee. We're almost there. But no, Oral Roberts, I love the way that they played. First of all, Abis, their point guard, what an incredible game. He played every single minute, all 40 minutes, completely controlled the game, had a great pace to him. He had a great balance of when to score and when to get his teammates involved. He really just blew past those Ohio State defenders, Mailee. Mac is saying you're nice on the court. I'm assuming he's talking about Mailee. So
I think he's talking about you, Shivam.
We'll see.
Thank you, Mac. Let us know who you mean, though.
He probably means Mailee, but Abis was really impressive. Like, he had some sick crossovers behind the backs, between the legs, just cat quick. Get to the basket, finishing over the taller defenders. He's only like 6 foot. He's an undersized point guard. I know Mailee likes undersized point guards. Yeah, I know her. She gets really excited about that. And
represent for the short people and the short point guards and the short guards. you can definitely make it. Don't worry.
He can definitely make it. He balled out, Mailee, making the threes. He shot from Steph Curry range a couple of times, the mid-range, going to the basket. Banner, their big man, they did a lot of pick and pop with him. So two guys would, go to Abus on the pick and roll, and Banner would just be wide open, just stroking it from the top of the key. He would also throw to him in the paint. And man, Oral Roberts also played very stifling defense on Ohio State. Ohio State also likes to play to their big EJ Liddell, and they completely took him out of his game, doubling him. Dwayne Washington just couldn't make shots for Ohio State. They struggled. Just in general, Arns for Ohio State also struggled. He's their designated shooter. It was just a rough opposite game for Ohio State. And once they got down, Mailee, they were really pressing. They had a lot of dumb turnovers. But you can just tell their palms were a little sweaty and they were getting a little nervous because Oral Roberts was definitely turning up the heat on them.
Yeah, and like I said, Coach Maverick.
Shout out to Coach Maverick.
Yes, underdogs coming out on top. Is definitely something I'm a fan of every day. So definitely good luck to you. It's not over yet, but definitely good luck to you.
Yeah, and Coach Maverick and that entire coaching staff for Oral Roberts, you can just tell they had their team ready, Mailee. They did a great job of scouting Ohio State. They knew where to attack on them, where the defense was weak, where they could get to their spots and they can score on defense. They knew which Ohio State players are threats and, good parts of their game. So I think they did a great job of taking Ohio State out of their game, making them uncomfortable. Ohio State committed like 15 turnovers, and Ohio State is one of the best teams in the country at taking care of the ball, Mailee, and they completely made them turn the ball over. Their guards, they got them into foul trouble. It was just a rough overall game for the Ohio State Buckeyes, who, in my opinion, I know they're a 2 seed, but I always thought they were a little bit overrated. I'm not saying this in 2020 hindsight. Yeah, because the Big Ten is supposed to be the best conference in college basketball. And hey, two of your teams in the Big Ten are out, Illinois and Ohio State. So best conference in college basketball. But I thought Ohio State was just more of a regular season team than a March Madness team. They can put up these great numbers in the regular season, but when the bright lights turn on and fans are in the stands, Mailee, I don't think they, could stand up to the pressure.
At the end of the day, it's March. Anything can happen, and you got to bring it. It's none of this February, November, December conference play. It's March Madness. It's do or die. You got to make what's best of it.
Right, and let's move on. So sadly, my Texas Longhorns lost to Abilene Christian. Texas was the 3 seed. Abilene was the 14th seed. It was a tough game overall. And Mailee, this guy completely dominated. He's 5'7", 150, Mailee, and he was flexing.
He's munchy.
Yes. And guess what his name was, ladies and gentlemen? You won't believe this. Reggie Miller. Yes, that's his name. His name was Reggie Miller. And
look at his number. He's number 10.
Number 10. He put on a performance like Reggie Miller. Just a pathetic performance by UT, Mailee. I was disappointed last night. I expected better from them. This was a game that they were supposed to win, that they should have won. It fell on the coaching staff, Shaka Smart, who, get this, Mailee, he has not won a tournament game since 2013. That's 8 years.
That is tough.
Ever since he made it to the final. This is the guy that made it to the Final Four in 2011, Mailee, and he has not won a tournament game with the Longhorns. They've had some tough exits, and this was his best team, Mailee. And I don't think he's going to survive. I think he's going to end up getting fired, Mailee, and UT is going to lose a lot of key players. So it was just a tough overall game for the Texas Longhorns.
Shivam, can I you guys listen. As the game was going on, I came downstairs. I was opening a bunch of gifts upstairs. I came downstairs and I saw the game, and then I saw the score.
Of course you saw.
And the first thing I did was FaceTime Shivam, and I said, Shivam, are you okay? And I said, you have to call me. And of course he didn't, because he knew what I was gonna do. But here's my thing, okay? First of all, UT lost. So he's hyping up UT ever since we started this show. Oh, UT's this, UT's that. Don't even get me started on this Greg Brown stuff. Okay.
I'm gonna go on a rant about that, but go ahead.
Yeah, Shivam. If Greg Brown is supposed to be this, I don't know, freshman of the year, don't you think he'd be playing towards the end of the game?
So that's
a little rough.
So that's Shaka Smart's fault. He only played.
I don't think it's Shaka's fault. I think it's Greg Brown's fault. He's got a brain.
He only played 6 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. Again, the college game is 40 minutes. So do the math there on how many minutes that is. Whatever. Okay, me and Mailee are not math experts, so we'll let you, but yeah, 6 minutes. I think he was still being punished from last week in the Big 12 tournament where he completely had a meltdown. He just went to the locker room and the managers had to go and get him from the locker room.
Every freshman of the year having a meltdown.
Well, ever since then, Mailee, he's not been in the starting lineup. You know, they made him the sixth man. But I still think you have to play Greg Brown. Shaka Smart, you have to go down squeaking with your best players. No matter what Mailee says, he's your third.
He did play his best players.
No, Ramey was horrible. He's your top. He was. Mailee, Greg Brown is your top three and your best players on this UT team. You have to play him. And Mailee, what's your advantage against Abilene Christian? Athleticism. What does Greg Brown give you? Athleticism. You have to use your athleticism against Abilene Christian. Greg Brown, at least even if he struggled to shoot, he did make 1 3 in the game. He swished a nice corner 3.
Thank you, the 1 3. Wow, that's amazing.
Well, that was the only shot that but Mailee, he would have at least got in there and got some rebounds. He's a tough rebounder. You know, he at least would have played some hard defense. You know, so he would have given you other aspects of the game besides, you know, shooting. So you have to go down and play your best players. And it was just disappointing. They played Brock Cunningham and, you know, Donovan Williams instead of Greg Brown. When at least another thing, he could have given you energy, Mailee. You always see he has a big smile on his face. He's always enthusiastic. He's always clapping, getting in his teammates' face.
Haircut. That's what he needs.
Well, he's going with the braids look, I guess so.
Dread.
But Mailee, I have a question for you, and I want an objective answer, Mailee. So after this game, should Greg Brown declare for the draft or should he come back for his sophomore year? And again, his stock has been going down a little bit. You know, he's now a fringe first-round pick. I still think he is a first-round pick. But do you think he should declare for the draft, Mailee, or come back to UT?
I think he should transfer.
Oh,
transfer because I don't see Shaka's. Let me just say, Coach Smart. I don't see Coach Smart keeping his job. You could tell by his facial expression at the end of the game. But let's go back to the Greg Brown and all that information you gave me about him. I think Shaka Smart, 6 minutes. That's pretty solid. Because here's why I say this. Because if he's punishing him about the Big 12 tournament and how Greg Brown just completely broke down and he left the game. So why would I play you in the fourth quarter when the game is on the line? Are you going to break down for me? You're going to break down for your teammates? Because at the end of the day, with that Big 12 whole fiasco that went on with Greg Brown, you don't leave your team and go to the locker room. You just don't. And basketball is going to go your way. The ref's going to make some terrible calls. The ref's going to make some great calls. Things are going to happen. You're going to get technical fouls, which is seeming to be Greg Brown's reputation. And, you know, if he's just going to walk out into the locker room and the water boys have to go get him, I mean,
I think
for him, okay? And I don't think that having to play more minutes in the fourth quarter because Greg Brown has already shown when things don't go his way, he breaks down. So when he breaks down, that's one, no freshman of the year. That's two, I can't award you these minutes because you broke down for your team. At the end of the day, you broke down for your team and you broke down for yourself. You know, when things don't go your way and you get knocked down, how are you going to get back up? Are you just going to lay there and play dead and take a little sleep? No, you're going to get up. You're going to fight a little bit harder. That's what life is. That's definitely what the game of basketball is. And he just broke down for his team.
I think
he's supposed to play a lot of minutes, especially against ACU, a team you should have beat by 50 points. And
no, Mailee, no, Mailee, I'm not going to let you do that. No, ACU is dangerous. They're 23-4 in the season. They pushed Texas Tech, who's a 6 seed. They pushed Arkansas, who's a 3rd seed. Experts on ESPN said this has a chance to be an upset because everybody always plays hard against the University of Texas. Come on, it's a rivalry. You know, they look at UT as the big brother. So no, that was going to be a grinded out game as we expected, a close game. I'm not going to let Mailee put it into your heads. Yes, UT had more talent, but no. Okay, back to Greg Brown. I think that was just Mailee, he's a freshman, okay? I think the spotlight I think the spotlight was a little bit too big for him. And I think, you're going to have breakdowns. You're going to have growing pains with freshmen. And I think that's one of those things where it's a growing pain. I think he's learned from that. But Shaka Smart, your job is on the line. I don't care if Greg Brown messed up. By the way, David Famous saying happy birthday, Mailee. Shivam, how are the Longhorns? Okay, David, I'm addressing the Longhorns right now. But Mailee, Greg Brown, you have to go squeaking with your best players. Mailee, he made a 3 at the beginning of the game. If you watch a UT game, if he makes 1 3, I've seen him drill 4 or 5 threes. He could have had a hot hand, and he could have used his athleticism to bring the big outside to guard him, and he could have easily just drove past him and dunked it on him. You could have used Greg Brown for his defense, his rebounding, his versatility. Shaka Smart, that was a mistake. You have to play Greg Brown. He's giving his all for this program, and he wants to win, Mailee. He'll make the winning plays down the stretch. I've seen it throughout the season, and I'm convinced he would have still made the winning plays down the stretch. You could just tell. And Greg Brown was being a great teammate on the sideline. When he was not playing, Mailee,
he was supposed to be. He walked out on them in the Big 12.
That's what he could do. But he could have sulked, Mailee, but he didn't. Knowing that Ramey, who was pathetic, okay, to say the least, he played 36 minutes and he was just a turnover machine. He was bricks.
20 turnovers. God.
He was brick city, Mailee, okay? I probably would have made more shots than he did, and I haven't even played. I don't even, okay? So, yeah, exactly what Mailee was saying. So, Abilene Christian has the highest turnover rate, which means they lead the country in opponent turnovers. So that was one thing that UT could not do. If UT did not turn the ball over, Mailee, they would have won the game. But they had 23 turnovers. Okay, you're not going to believe this stat, Mailee. Okay, let me give it. Okay, you know what Abilene Christian shot from the field, Mailee? Their field goal percentage?
No, go ahead and tell me. I think you're going to tell me.
30% from the field.
They can't shoot. AC cannot shoot.
18% from 3. And they still won the game, okay? And
and Coach Smart did the right thing by benching Greg Brown's behind on the butt, and he did a dumb thing by not getting in his zone. He wants to play man. You want to play man and a team can't shoot? Are you for real right now? Are you just so for real?
Or they should have used the half-court press, which was the staple at VCU, which use your size, use your athleticism to turn ACU over, because they would have just – had trouble, dribbling on these big men. Okay, also UT shot 45% from the field, which is pretty decent, for a basketball game. It's not great, but it's decent. And they made 7 threes, and you still lose the game, Mailee. But UT played their worst game, and ACU took advantage of it. The only
game at the wrong time.
So the only way that ACU could have beaten UT is if UT played their C- game. And UT didn't even play a C- game. They played a D game, okay? And UT played their D game, and ACU took advantage of it, Mailee. And it was just unfortunate. And another big before we wrap up the show, one other thing I got to say, another thing that UT did take advantage of. So Mailee, ACU in the first half they went on a 7-minute 13-second scoring drought, right, Mailee? And that's a time, okay, as you know as a basketball player, Mailee, when a opponent has a scoring drought, what do? You expand the lead, right, to give yourself a cushion? But they didn't do that.
Expand the lead.
They were stuck on a 3-point lead the entire game. They only had a 5-point lead at halftime when ACU did score the last 7 minutes of the first half. And right there, I was like, the second half is not going to be good. Not going to be good for UT.
First, I know before we start to wrap things up, first I want to say, David, thank you so much for the birthday wish. And thank you for tuning in on Shivam. I know he's just having it out and Sano, oh my gosh, thank you so much. I cannot wait for your chocolate chip cookies, by the way.
David. Just let it out. Just let it out, Shivam. We're here for you. We're rooting against Abilene Christian. And okay, Mailee, last thing to say, UT was in the perfect bracket. They were in the weakest bracket. Number 1 seed Michigan is without their best player, senior Isaiah Livers. Number 2, Alabama is just overrated. Let's call a spade. They're overrated. So UT would have beaten UCLA in the next round. They would have taken care of business. We all know that. No matter if you're a UT hater or a UT fan, they would have beaten Alabama in the Sweet 16, taking care of business, and then they would have beaten Michigan. So if they got past this game against Abilene Christian, ladies and gentlemen, I'm convinced that they would have made the Final Four, and Mailee would have had a tough time on the show, but she got off the hook.
Wait, Shivam, because you went on for 5 minutes straight without me saying anything.
Sorry, go ahead.
First of all, Shivam was saying a lot of what-ups. What up, if, could. Guess what? UT lost. Get out. Greg Brown, it's time for you to transfer because Coach Smart is getting fired.
Greg, go to the NBA. Go to the NBA.
It's not about people losing their job. I really am not, especially at this whole time we're going on with the whole disparities, women, men, equality, not equality. We are equality, but we're really not. I just hate when somebody loses their job. I really do. But Greg Brown.
6 years though, Mailee, and he hasn't won a tournament game.
That's a tough life. But Longhorns lost, and they didn't bring it. Bottom line, ACU just wanted it more. Bottom line, there's definitely some mistakes that happen. Win or lose, there's definitely going to be some mistakes. Greg Brown, you're not freshman of the year. And guess what? Shivam went 5 minutes straight just explaining why you weren't freshman of the year. He did not take one breath. I had to listen to all of that. And guess what? You're not freshman of the year, Greg Brown. You deserve the 6 minutes you played in the last game because you walked out on your teammates in the conference tournament. You walk out on me. Guess what? You don't want to meet the Mailee on the court when you walk out on your teammates because if you walked out once, you'll walk out again. Longhorn, so sorry your season ended so badly. I really wish you the best. I'm not really a UT fan, but I'm not really any college person, fan, what a bandwagon, whatever you want to call it. I just root for the underdogs who come out to bring it. And guess what? Let me end on this note. ACU came out to bring it. And guess what? All right, Shivam, what else do you want to talk about?
All right, really quick before we get into the getaway, just one last thing. You know, this was a tough year. This was UT's best team. Now they're going to lose 4 players. Greg Brown's going to go to the NBA first-round pick. Kai Jones is going to be a first-round pick. Jericho Sims, who's going to be a second-round pick most likely, and then Matt Coleman, who's going to be a senior. So next year is going to be a rebuilding year for UT. They didn't get it done. But we'll see what happens, Mailee, down the stretch. But thank you so much, everybody, for watching the show. Continue to enjoy March Madness. Enjoy the upsets. But before we get off, Mailee, and yeah, like, share, and subscribe to the Patel Pick and Roll Sports YouTube channel, where you can watch all the episodes live or on demand. And watch it on Mailee Jones' Facebook channel and Shooting for Success Facebook channel. Real quick, I know Mailee's got to go and train. She has a client coming up. But Mailee, quickly tell us about the giveaway that's going to be coming up because it's going to be pretty spicy.
Yes, excuse me. Yes, we have a really spicy giveaway. We are going to give more details out. Of course, when Shivam's not busy and I'm not busy. For those you don't know, Shivam and I are really busy all the time. We don't just do our show. We do other things in our life. But we are going to come out with some more details. But the biggest thing, you have to be a subscriber to the Patel Pick and Roll Sports YouTube channel. Again, that's the Patel Pick and Roll Sports YouTube channel. You have to be a subscriber. If you are not a subscriber, you will not win the giveaway. The giveaway is worth $200, and it's a 1-hour private training session by me and, of course, the greatest of all time,
Shot Doctor,
Coach DJ, the Shot Doctor. So you'll have 1 hour free of our time and expertise and knowledge of the game of basketball, and that is the giveaway. But you have to be a subscriber to the Patel Pick and Roll Sports YouTube channel. And in the upcoming episodes, not the next episode or the episode after that, we will announce the winner. So you definitely want to stay tuned. But biggest thing, you have to be a subscriber to the Patel Pick and Roll Sports YouTube channel. If you are not, you cannot win.
Yep, exactly. This is This is an amazing giveaway, ladies and gentlemen. You do not want to miss this opportunity. Coach DJ and Mailee are the best in the business at training. Mailee is a professional on the Vietnam women's team. And Coach DJ, what can I say about Coach DJ? All his professional experience, all his basketball expertise. We can go on till tomorrow to talk about all the great stuff about Coach DJ. You all know, the shot doctor. So this is a awesome giveaway, and be sure to tune in. But Mailee, also before we get off, tell the audience about the bracket challenge that we're going to be coming up.
Yes, so we have a bracket challenge coming up. We are doing from the Sweet 16. So when underdogs start taking over, okay, or the number one seeds keep that and keep winning, we will have a bracket challenge, Sweet 16 bracket challenge. And whoever gets it perfect from the Sweet 16 all the way to the championship can be a guest on our show. Definitely want to hear more about you, everything. So, Shivam, what do you think about that?
That's amazing. I want to compare you guys' brackets to ours. The audience out there, me and Mailee are going to fill out one. It's the best time of the year, March Madness. Be sure to, to put your teams, which teams you think are going to advance. Which
you can go ahead and take UT off.
Oh, man. Hey, but ladies and gentlemen, quickly before we get off, Luka Garza, the Wooden Award winner, they won their first game, so he's still alive and well, ladies and gentlemen. So, Luka Garza, but it's okay. It's in the right now in the men's race for the Wooden Award. Right now, it's neck and neck between Luka Garza and Cade Cunningham, and Cade Cunningham is playing right now as we speak. So let's see what's going to happen, ladies and gentlemen. Who's going to win the Wooden Award? I said it's going to be Luka Garza, but Cade Cunningham might be stealing the award. But again, thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. Like, share, and subscribe to the Patel Pick and Roll Sports YouTube channel. And David, yes, UT is out. Thank you for the reminder. I was trying to forget about it. And thank you, everybody.
David is savage. He's a real life savage for that.
Of course, ladies and gentlemen,
UT is out.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, my luck. Mailee's always in the gym. Of course, the time when UT's playing, she's at home watching the game, of course. But it's okay, ladies and gentlemen. We'll get through this. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Of course. Thank you.